Okay, welcome back students. So today we are going to develop a program in which we are going to insert an element or a number in a sorted array. Now I'm using the word array out here because we are going to have a list which are going to have the elements of similar data type. As what you can see in front of you, this is a list and the list are having all the integer numbers. So this particular list is in sorted order and it is in ascending order. It can be in ascending or descending, but it should be in a sorted order. And then if we really want to insert a new element or a new number in this particular list, how we are going to do that? The number has to be inserted in such a fashion that this particular list is always in sorted order. The order should not change. I mean, it should be always in ascending order. So it is, if it is in ascending order, it will be in ascending order. Okay, so how we are going to do that? Suppose we have the number 52. So the number 52, if we really want to insert this number in this particular list, how we are going to do that? The first thing, the first task is to find the exact position where this 52 will go. And if you really manually check these numbers, so 52 should come between 40 and 55 because 52 is greater than 40 and 52 is less than 55. So it will come between 40 and 55. So this is the position. So I can say that this will be, maybe if we just take this as index value from 0, normally it is 0, but we are going to take it that 1, take it as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 52 will be coming to the position that is the fifth position, and the numbers 55, 60, 65 and 70 will be shifted one position towards the right. That is what we need to achieve. So the first task is to find the exact position where the number will get inserted. That's the first task. And the second task will be, first we have to make shifting of these numbers. And obviously if I have really want to shift these numbers, then I need to have one more empty block over here so that I can shift 70 to that empty block, then 65 in place of 70, then 60 at one place. I will shift one place. The similarly 55 will come at place of 60, and then I will insert 52. So how I'm going to do that is, see, this is the position between 40 and 55, we need 52. And as I said, I have one more block, and what we are going to do is we are going to assign none into that particular block. So none means empty, we can assume that. And then what we are going to do is we are going to shift the numbers, that is 55, 60, 65 and 70 to one position towards the right. So let us shift first. We are going to shift the 70, then 65, then 60 and then 55. And now there is an empty block over here, and now 52 can take this particular position. So this is how we really want to achieve the goal. So you can see that this particular list is still in sorted order. So this is the program that we need to develop. So two tasks, first is finding the position and the second task is shifting these numbers, and the third task will be then positioning that number, inserting the number to its appropriate position. So let's go ahead, let's switch to Spider and let's start coding. So we have this particular list out here. I'm going to take a new file and I'm going to paste it over here. So let us assume that this is the list that we have, and which is in sorted order, it is in ascending order. So let us start the program, and we are going to define some method. So this is a standard algorithm that is followed everywhere, but still we are going to use some Python feature, where we are going to minimize the coding. So already we have, that is L. Okay, let me just put it after the main. Okay, and then what we are going to have is we are going to have, that is a new number, and let us call that number that is maybe number that is 58. Okay, and this number will be inserted in this particular list, and still the list should be in sorted order. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, or you can also have this number that is user input. You can ask for a number from the user. You can do that as well, but I'm just simply taking a variable, assigning the value that is 58, and then I need to have position is equal to, and I'm going to use a function that is find position. Now that's the first function I'm going to have. I'm going to pass a list and the number, right? Because using this number, that is the new number that we need to insert in the list, we are going to find the exact position for that number, and that is going to return to this particular variable that is position. And then we are going to do something like a do shifting function, and this particular function is going to do the shifting for us. And for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the list and the position. So this particular function is going to find the position for us. Okay, and we're going to have that number, that index value, in this particular variable, and then I'm going to do the shifting. For shifting, we are going to pass the same list and the position value. And then simply what we need to do is I'm going to say L of position, and I'm going to insert the number. That's it. And then I can print the list. So let us print the list before performing the operations as well. So there is this is the list that I'm printing before the operation, and this is the list that I will be printing after the operations. And now let us go ahead and define these methods, the functions, that is find position. That is the first function, and let me just have pass, and then def, that is do shifting list and the position. Let me have the pass. Now what we need to do is we will do the coding first for finding the position. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, it is possible that the number, suppose the number is 5. Okay, assume the number is 5. If I, this is not 58, it's 5. Okay, let us assume it. If it is 5, what is going to happen is that number 5 is smallest to all the numbers that are present in the list. So if that number 5, if it is less than the number 12, it means that it is going to be less than all the other numbers, since this is in ascending order, isn't it? If it is less than 12, it is but obvious that it is going to be less than 34, 56, because this is going 78, this is going into ascending order. So what I'm going to do is, first thing is, if it is less than the first position, so I'm going to say if, and if the number, if it is less than L of, that is L of 0, if it is so, then my new number, that is number 5, will be inserted at the first position. So I will simply return, that is return 0, and that's it. And then what we need to do is, we need to have a loop for I in a range, and I'm going to say len of L. We are going to go for the traverser. We are going to go by, we are going to travel the list by using this particular loop, and obviously the index value starts from 0, so I need to have this len of L, that will be the size of the list, and then minus 1. And then I need to check something, and I need to check that whether the number is greater than this, and sorry, yeah, it should be greater than this and less than the just the next number that follows. So how I'm going to do that is L of I. Okay, so that will be the 0th position, right? I initially will be 0, and I have to check whether this particular number, that is L of 0, if it is less than or equal to the number, and that is number is less than, that is L of I plus 1. Okay, so what is happening over here is, if that number L of I, so I initially will be 0. If it is less than this, less than or equal to the number, that is the new number, and if that number is less than I plus 1, so that is index value 1, initially I will be 0 and this will be 0 plus 1 1. So we are actually comparing this first number. So for example, let us assume that the number is 15. So 15, so L of I, that is 12, isn't it? So 12 is less than that number, that is 15, and that number is less than 34. So this condition, so we need to check both the sides actually, left and the right side. If it is so, then what I'm going to do is my position will be, that is I plus 1, isn't it? So if it is 15, so and 15 is, this number 12 is less than 15 and 15 is less than 34, so it will come between 12 and 34. So the index value will be what? I initially will be 0, so 0 plus 1, that will be 1. So that's the perfect position. And the same checking, if the condition goes false, then I'm going to check for 34 and 56, right? And then 56 and 78, 78 and 90, and that is how this loop is going to work. And once we find the position, we need to break it immediately. And then let us have the else part. What is the else part is going to do for us? The else part is, okay, else part is going to, no, not here, we need to have it for the for loop. Now the else part of the for loop will be executed only if this loop goes for all its iteration, which means that the loop has, this break statement never gets executed. So if this break statement gets executed, which means that the loop has not completed all its iteration, and in that case this else part won't get executed. But if this loop goes for all its iterations, then the else part is going to get executed. If it breaks, it will not execute the else part. And if it doesn't break, if the loop doesn't break, then the else part will get executed. If the loop does not break, so what does that mean? That means that the number is the largest number, and that number we need to have at the last position, isn't it? So I'm going to have, that is len of L and minus 1, right? If this loop doesn't break, which means, for example, I have a number 600, so 600 will be the largest number if you really take this as our list. So 600 should come at the last position, and since 600 is the largest number, these conditions will never get satisfied, and since this condition will never get satisfied, the loop will never break, and so we will give that position as len of L minus 1, and that is the position that we require. So the position should be, or should I say, that is len of L. And why? Because it should be, we are going to have one more number, it should be, there should be one more block, or I should say that way, and then we are going to have, in that last block we are going to have this number, that is 600. So we require one more block, and that is the reason I'm not giving here as minus 1. Okay, so that is done, and then simply what we can do is we are going to return the position. So that's the first part, and now we are going to do the, okay, the second part is the shifting part. The shifting part, let us do the shifting part now. And over here we have the position and the list. So first thing that we need to do is we're going to have a new element in the list, and that will be at the end of the list. So using that append method, I'm going to achieve that. And then what we need to do is we need to calculate I is equal to len of L minus 1. So I will be having the value that is the last index value, isn't it? So len of L minus 1, so I is going to have the last index value, and then I'm going to run a while loop while I greater than or equal to the position, and I'm going to do the shifting. Shifting is simple. I'm going to say L of I, that is the last position. So this number, so for example, if this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, so and then we have inserted one more number, that is 11. So this I will be what? This I will be that will be 10, since it starts from 0. So it will be, I will be the last number, the last index value, and if that number is greater than the position, so maybe the position is number 5, so and this is 10, so 10 is greater than equal to position, and then we are going to do what? Similarly, that number 500 will be shifted one place towards the right, just like what I showed over here. That is okay, let me just run this one more time. So this is the new block that we had, the new element, and the value was none, and now 70, so this will be I will be pointing to none basically. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy 70 into this particular position, then 65 to the position of 70, then 62 to the position of 65, and then 55 to the position of 60. This is how things are going to work. So let us do, that is L of I, that's the last element, and I'm going to copy, that is L of I minus 1, right? So if this is 10, so this will be 9, so L of 9 goes in L of 10, right? And then what I need to do is decrement the I, keep on decrementing the I, and then this is going to do the shifting for me. Okay, and I guess that's more than sufficient that we did. And now is the testing time. Let us just run this particular code and see the output. So the first run I'm going to do, and let me just save this, inserting elements, something of that sort, py, and you can see that the number that I had given was 58. 58 was the number, and this was the list before inserting the number, and this is the new list in which there is a new number, and that is 58, and you can see that 58 is exactly where it should be, or is there any mistake? 58, so it will be between, okay, 58 will be between 56 and 78. If I have previously, I guess I thought of 34 or 56, maybe by mistake, but this is perfect. Okay, so it should be where it is, where it should be. Okay, so let me just give this as 5. Now if I give this as 5, and you can see it is coming to the first position, so this is working perfect. This is 10, maybe 15, so if it is 15, so it will be at the second position, and here it is. So this code is absolutely working fine, and if you really go for the standard algorithm, there might be certain change in the standard algorithm and the code that we have. Okay, a slight of a change, maybe that else part is not there, and we are doing some other checking over here. So if you really follow the book also, maybe a slight of change, but this is absolutely okay, because we are just using that else part of for the for loop, and we are not using any method as such, so it's okay. This code is okay, and we have also cut down the line of codes with this particular code. Okay, so this is the entire program, children. Hope you have understood this program. I'm going to give this program, let me just copy this and paste this in MS Word, and I'm going to give you this code. please type the code, run the code, and if you really find, give some more inputs, and if you really come up with some bugs, please rectify the bugs. If there is some error, you can rectify it. Rest of the part I will leave it to you to study this. So this is how we can insert a new element in a uh, in a in a sorted list. Okay, and we have 20 minutes, so it's just 20 minutes. So what we can do it quickly, I will just show you how we can do this in a much simpler way using Python. And this is the method that is there in the syllabus. Okay, so I just need to tell you about the methods. So let me just copy this first, and I'll go to a new file. So the first thing that we need to do is, the problem with the code that we had with this particular code, it's working perfectly fine, but then there is a lot of shifting of numbers. Then we need to find the position first and then the shifting of the numbers. So a lot of things are going in this particular code. Python has come up with their own methods by which we can achieve this particular task, and this particular methods will be taking much lesser time as compared to the code that we had. Okay, and for that we require a module, and the name of this module is bisect. Okay, and bisect module, how it is going to work is very simple. So this is the, we just require 2 line of code for achieving the same thing basically. So the first thing is position is equal to, I will use the bisect module, and the method name is also bisect, and I'm going to pass L, and the new number, suppose if I want to enter, is 15. So this is straight away I'm passing that constant value. So 15 is the new number that should be inserted in this particular list. What this particular method, that is bisect method, name of the module is bisect, name of the method is also bisect. So what this particular method is going to do is, it is going to return the position where this number should be inserted. Okay, and we really don't require this if you really want to just achieve the goal, that is using the bisect module. And insort, that is the method, pass the list and the number, that's it. And this is going to insert this number in this particular list. And if you really want the position, then we can use that bisect method, and then I can print that the new number is inserted at, and that is the reason why I require this bisect method. Otherwise my purpose is only to insert the element in the sorted list. I can straight away only use that insort method. Okay, and then I can have the position. And now let us run this, and bisect example.py, and you can see children that it is showing to me that the new number is inserted at position 1. And let us also print the list, and now let us run this list, and you can see 12, after 12 we have this 15, and so this is giving me the index value. So what is the solution to this is position plus 1. So it is inserted at position, that is, okay, number 2. So this is how we can achieve, that is the 2 methods we require. The first method is only to, to basically return that if you really want the position value. Otherwise, if you really want to insert the element into the list, straight away you can use this method and the goal will be achieved. Okay, so this is the method, that is bisect and insort. So please study it children. Now I will just copy this particular code, but you are not supposed to only just go through this particular program. Okay, you have to implement the program that I have shown you, because this is very important children, that you should learn to code. This is very important for for you to develop your programming skills. So you have to implement this program, it is very important. And then I'm going to first, let me just save this, and this goes, that is inserting elements. Let me save this, and let me also export this. So I'm just giving you this particular code. The next program is pretty simple. You can refer the book as well, you will find it. Okay children, so I'm going to give you this code. Please type it and run it, and if there are any errors, please rectify it. Okay, that's it for today. Bye for now.